Alright, so sometimes यार the comments are so good कि उसको हम comment वाले section में लेने के जगह we take it out separately and make topics out of them. तो last week on our some of our other videos, दो comments आए थे, we're combining both of them and basically talking about एक तो एक if you guys this comes from Kshitij. If you guys had a choice to forget everything about a game and play it again for the first time, which game would it be? And kind of continuing off that, Madhav ne pucha ki I want to know which game ka story did you enjoy the most? Is there a game with a story which moved you to tears? So basically, I think the question to condense it is like, uh, which game ka story moved you to tears, and which game would it be that you would like to play again for the first time? Like wipe it off your memory, first time khel rahe ho.
You want me to go first? Okay. Let me take the most obvious one, which I guess like many people out there, watching us would say the same. Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. That's a game that I would like to wipe from my memory. Like swipe it clean, man. Zero. Take it down to zero. That was the first game ever that I pre-ordered. मतलब मेरे को पता है कि प्री ऑर्डर नहीं करना चाहिए, एकदम मतलब नहीं करना चाहिए. कंट्रोल किया हाँ कि नहीं करना चाहिए, प्री ऑर्डर नहीं करना चाहिए. एंड but that trailer, man, and I had read the books before, पर मैंने गेम नहीं खेला था Witcher 1 and 2, and the trailer blew me off and I was like, nope, I want to play this game, and pre-order किया था मैंने GOG में जाके. And so my mind was blown, man, seriously. वो winds are blowing, winds are howling, and I just want to hear that for the first time again, and go through all the the necker infested swamps and the places, each and every place that I grew to love around that. Like such a atmospheric game, in so many different aspects. I just want to understand. And the story was marvelous. Like one of the best open world story games that I've played. But yeah, that's my take. But it's a very generic one. I bet many of you would want to do that. But yeah, move on with that question to someone else.
Oh,
yeah. I thought he would say Gwent.
I did play a lot of Gwent. Do you want to play a round of Gwent? Yeah, I did play that.
Hey, your child just died and your wife's left you, but do you want to play Gwent?
Yeah.
He loses, goes, hangs himself.
Who wants to go next?
I thought Sushir, you had something else to say.
Yeah. No, I had something else to say regarding the moving to tears part.
You can.
I thought will that be a second round?
नहीं एक साथ.
एक ही
let
it out, man.
Yeah, let it out.
Okay, fine. Okay, so I did comment on that same comment, and I mentioned a lot of things that that I'm a very emotional person, so मेरा EQ बहुत high है, तो मैं थोड़ा ही मैं ज़्यादा मतलब teary eyed हो जाता मैं, तो but one of those examples is not mentioned there because that was a very personal thing. So I love dogs, and for a long time now I could not have one because like my parents were like,
are you gonna talk about Snoop Dogg in Call of Duty? Moved you to tears?
Moved me to tears, man. Seriously, to smoke that blunt and be Snoop Dogg. Yeah. So my parents were like, either kutta rahega ya tum rahoge. So I decided that I was supposed to be a more integral part of this family. So I remained. And yeah, but this is 2009, right? My second year mein hu. And maine again full disclosure, मैंने pirated CD खरीद के लाई है, ठीक है, and it's Fallout 3, and Fallout 3 hasn't released in India, तो तब तो मुझे पता भी नहीं कि रिलीज नहीं हुई है, and the person tells me very good FPS RPG this and that, and I'm like, yep, give it to me, take my money, 30 rupees, give it to me. मैंने लेके आया and God forsaken games for Windows Live GFWL तब था, and I think I skipped like मेरे third semester के बहुत सारे classes because of this stupid game, and game के बीच में थोड़ा सा story है बस. I meet dog meat, okay, dog meat कुत्ता है तुम्हारा, and yeah, 4-minute story होना है, dog meat कुत्ता है तुम्हारा, and I am like instantly in love. I'm like, I don't care about any other companion. This guy is going to be everywhere where I go, and boy, I keep taking him around, doing my adventures, and I'm having fun. And few 50 hours later, I'm like, ये मतलब मेरा ही कुत्ता है. I'm like logging in every day, opening that game to meet my dog and go around and have adventures with it. So I go to what's the place, Washington DC, right? The Dreams of Washington DC. And वहाँ पे सुपर, मतलब ये थोड़ा गेम का ये बैकग्राउंड है, सुपर म्यूटेंट्स है बहुत सारे, and they have like lots of weapons and everything. And मतलब मेरी गलती से dog meat dies. And he is riddled with bullets like and he's like dead. And मतलब मुझे तो तब तक आइडिया भी नहीं था कि कुत्ता मर सकता है ये, ठीक है. मैं सोचा था कि हो गया है कंपेनियन, मतलब रहेगा, ये जिंदा रहेगा. So I am like shattered. 2 days straight I don't play the game. I'm like switched it off. मैं saves coming भी करता था, पर वापस जाके वो सही से चल नहीं रहा था. Things were breaking. That time there were no mods and patches around. So I had to continue. I was like so disheartened. Even like my mother asked like, what has happened? Hey, इतना मायूस क्यों, क्या हुआ? And I'm like, मेरा कुत्ता मर गया. And I at that point in time I was going to leave the game. I did not want to play that game. And thank God, मैं बोलने मांग रहा हूँ कि Red Dead Redemption 2 में horse revivals जैसी चीज है, because I formed the same kind of a bond. But कुछ नहीं था उस time, and I don't want to play that game. I just like wanted to throw it off, like कि नहीं खेलूंगा. और and उसके बाद मैंने वापस आया, and then I'm like full blown racist. मतलब सुपर म्यूटेंट देखा तो दूर से ही गोली चला के एटम बॉम्ब फेंक दे रहा हूँ, ग्रेनेड फेंक दे रहा हूँ, मारो, निकालो इस सबको यहाँ से, ये यहाँ पे कोई जगह नहीं है लोग के लिए. एंड तो मतलब पूरा मतलब फुल स्केल जेनोसाइड चल रहा है. टी बैग भी कर दे रहा है किसी से कुछ, मतलब गिब्स कर दे रहा हूँ, मतलब टूट जा रहे हैं, मीट सैक हो जा रहे हैं पूरा अलग. एंड आई एम लाइक कि नहीं, पूरा सबका बदला लेगा फैसल, ऐसा दैट that thing snowballs and everything. And later on I meet Fox. So Fox is this companion who is a super mutant, who is an intelligent super mutant, and he talks to you. And it's a very well written character. If people have played that game, it's a very well written character. And उससे थोड़ा बात करके थोड़ा reduce हुआ that animosity towards super mutants. I got to know their background and everything, and that game rooted me deeply into that. Like, and I was like seriously emotional jo baggage tha, because of dog meat dying, that I couldn't leave it around. Like, so that got me very teary-eyed at times. And then of course 2009 fifth semester aa gaya Broken Steel. I think that was the name of the DLC, the last DLC. और उसमें आया perk, I think puppies. उससे हुआ कि if you take that perk and if you have no companion, you get the puppy of dog meat, and with higher HP and everything. And I am like, yes, I am redeemed. My dog is back and everything. And that was an interesting thing, that dog levels up with you and everything. So it was a very interesting turn of events. I got my dog bag and I spent another 150 hours into the game. So and thankfully many people must have complained, because they in Fallout 4 I think they made the dog indestructible. They made dog meat. Yeah. आग जले या कुछ गुजर जाएगा, इससे कोई problem नहीं. So yeah, that's my story. That was like I was seriously emotionally invested, like my dog.
Not bad, Sushir. 4 minutes.
Time. Rap. Story rap.
Sushir's story was like it was John Wick before John Wick ever was made.
Oh my god!
I think that's how they got inspired. Sushir, did you ever post about this on any online website?
Oh no, that's it. That's the place.
Oh man,
good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
But just the way Sushir started, I can imagine like a lot of people having these different experiences that moves them in different ways. That's and like Sushir ke tarah, I would like to hear more of your stories. Abhi, you want to go next with both the questions? Game that you'll buy from your memory and play for the first time, and the game that moved you to tears. A story.
Yes.
Game moving to tears of frustration. Dark Souls भी हो सकता है. But the story.
I think it's gonna be one game that maybe Manas will pick as well. But I didn't have a PlayStation back then. I always wanted to play PlayStation games. बहुत सुनता था कि the exclusive games are the best. And I used to watch few YouTubers back then, but then I watched, there was this game that was getting a lot of praise. It was 2014, I think. I came to know that this game was getting a lot of praise, way too much praise. And I was like, what's this? And I would keep on getting it. I was not, I didn't know the story or anything. I kept on like, what is this? That it always comes on my recommended, like, what is this game? And I would never watch it. But then I was like, you know what? This game is coming way too much. I gotta watch this. I don't have a PlayStation. It's only PlayStation exclusive. I gotta watch it. I watched a YouTuber called the Rad Brad. He made 60 videos, 60 to 70 videos out of it, 20 minutes each. And I binged watched the whole thing. Every day, I will wake up. I'll have my breakfast. Till lunch, I'll watch him play the whole entire thing. And he would do it in complete detail. We'll go and pick up every note. We'll talk about everything. We'll stay silent completely when the cutscene happens. And we'll share some of his opinions, and then we'll go explore whatever is there to explore, get everything, every note, and read every note, or show it to you so that you can read and pause it. And by the end of it, I was so like, that game not only brought me to tears, but I was like, man, I want to experience this. And that was The Last of Us. And my God, I watched 60 whole videos of it. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. The moments, I still remember, it still gives me goosebumps, where Henry's moment gave me insane goosebumps. The moment she like shoots himself, and the moment the sound just switches and there's this music that hits, goes to the next chapter, and it just music comes in, and there's another beat that comes into fall, and it just gives me goosebumps all over. Like, oof, like that was a tension building moment. I was like, man, how can he? I've not felt that, like that kind of like intense moment all through my body, like goosebumps hit tears. It's crazy. And I was like, I need to play. I will play this sometime, but PlayStation बहुत महंगा है, कौन करते? Then came 2020 or 2016 when Last of Us Part 2 was announced. And I was like, oh my God, no way. What the story will be. What ye kya sab. And I was like, but I don't have PlayStation. Then I was like, I need to get it sometime. But game was coming out later. So kuch date wait exactly nahi tha. And then there was some kind of a date. I was like, oh my God, I need to get it. So I bought PlayStation finally. And then I was like, I have watched Last of Us. By then I've watched Last of Us 3-4 times. I watched people react to it. I watched like PewDiePie, Markiplier, blah, blah, blah. Those guys react to scenes, particular scenes. I would watch that again and again. I'll listen to its music. I know all of its music from Spotify. I will download it all. It was there. I would hear podcasts of it. It's just crazy. And then I was like, you know what? I've played so much. I know everything, every detail. But I was like, I still want to play that again. And I got the remastered version. I played the whole entire thing, felt the emotions back up again. And I was getting ready for Last of Us Part 2. I was like, this game is gonna strike. The leaks came out. I was like, fuck that. I'm just gonna go for it. I don't care. I will not read. I just went through it through and through. Last of Us Part 2 just destroyed me. I was like, what the hell is this game? From the very beginning of the most like craziest scene that everybody just is crying about in the internet. That scene, when people are crying with anger, I was like literally just crazy, like kind of like crying insanely in different moments of the game. It's like, oh, no way, this guy just was here, just died. Like it's an intense moment. I think I would still say at this point in time is Last of Us Part 2 is a game that I believe that we will never, that kind of level we will never get, in my opinion. We'll never get again. The way the story was, the way how dark it went, the way how intense it was. Anything could happen. You do not know, anything could happen. Like there's no character protection, that this guy is not protected as per the story. It's like anybody can literally be like killed by someone, because the world is like that. And I was like, damn, this is so tense, this is so scary. Because even the trailer, when the trailer came out, which got a lot of dislikes, that trailer had this tension building music, and I was like getting scared, getting nervous, what's gonna happen. I had that story in mind, and maybe this happened, and that came out true. But I was like, that tension was there, like what's gonna happen. And Ellie, by the end, I was so sad because obviously Ellie stayed alone. But then somebody put a video out on YouTube where Sam asks like, what are you afraid of? And she says to be alone. And I'm like, oh gosh, she's all alone now. This is crazy, man. I was like, no way, man. I kept telling to like myself, I was like saying, I'm sorry, Ellie, this has to happen, but oh my God, I'm so sorry, Ellie. Kind of like, it's crazy. This is the one game I think I would like to go back and just get all that feeling, because I never felt that. It felt like a movie, a very good movie, but it felt like even the gameplay was like, oh my God, so good. Last of Us Part 2 gameplay was insane. So I was like, I want to experience that once again. And that's why when somebody does not know about Last of Us or the whole game, I'm like, wait a minute, can you come to Discord? I can stream the whole game for you. I want to show you the story. I want to bring you to tears as well. I want to tell you how amazing this game is. And I would tell a lot of people like, hey, you don't have a PlayStation? I have it. Come to Discord. I can stream it for you. It's all you need. PC pe na hai, koi dikkat nahi hai. But that is that one game. It's very close to my heart. I have not played Last of Us Part 2 again. क्योंकि थोड़ा लंबा है. But I play Last of Us Part 1 बहुत बार. I have watched Last of Us Part 2 का scenes बहुत बार. I feel all the emotions and everything. It was so good. There's like some people like who would do walkthroughs and watch those specific moments उनका क्या reaction रहा है. And I watch it for some reason. But it just gives me back emotion. Such a good game, man. I'm just so happy that I got to play it PlayStation 4 before. Yeah. Super happy.
Yeah,
Man,
even just to take a moment from what Abhi was saying. Now, Usme, there's a scene towards the end where Joel and Ellie are kind of this like a flashback scene, but they're kind of reconciling. And Joel says, "Na, like if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it." Well, उस time में तो even I had a tear in my eye. Like fuck dude.
I was like goosebumps. पूरा एकदम. And then there was a moment when he says like, okay, she says, Ellie will say like, I will not forgive you, but I'll still try. And he was like crying, and then at the end he said, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And then he's like, yep. But the way he says yep as it is breaking up. Like it's like yep, and it was like that. Like he's literally tearing up. And I was like, and that moment, and right before all that, when Ellie was going to kill Abby completely, and that music is going up. And then you see 1 second of Joel just turning his head. I was like, no way. It just felt all the way, and I kind of had that tears in my eyes. Like I felt like this is how did they do that? It's so crazy to connect it so close to Joel. And then I hear some people online like Joel was the best father. I'm like, no, he was good, but he had his problems. Obviously, he's a good character, but still insane.
All right, that was awesome to hear. And I'm sure many people comments में whichever Last of Us 2, Last of Us 1, people will relate. Darren.
Oh boy. Okay, I have a few. I'll quick fire through them and then talk about one or two ones that like they shake you, like ऐसे हिला के ना जमीन हिलाते हैं, जमीन से हटा वो घसीट लेते हैं वो. So I would start with just Overwatch. I'm not kidding, but whenever I've watched Overwatch ke cinematic shots, right? Doesn't matter if it is the Genji Hanzo one. It could be the one with क्या कहते हैं, with Tracer and Winston, where they are the first cinematic shot of Taylor and Winston where they're fighting Widowmaker, and she just goes, the world could need more heroes, and the music swells up. Just like I've played with these characters for so long ki I feel like a part of that, and knowing their backstories and everything. Like the Reinhardt cinematic shot, it doesn't matter मैं कितनी बार देखूं, I end up like ऐसे ना एक आंसू नहीं, दो आंसू नहीं, like बस आंसू आ रहे होते हैं, and my nose just starts watering, and I'm like the moment he says कि there's that line in the start where they say live with something, die as a warrior, and it's Reinhardt and his commanding officer, and at the end the same line is said when he's saying goodbye to him before he makes his last stand. And I was just like, and then Reinhardt goes to where his armor was kept right at the end when Reinhardt is old, and he just keeps the Overwatch symbol, and he's like, I was called and I will answer. And I was just like, yeah, this is why I'll always play Reinhardt. I'll be a Reinhardt main because of this. So Overwatch is one of it. Mass Effect 3 mein, when you are the moment that got me, the two moments. One was when you go to the Geth facility. The Geth are like the robots who are like evil from Mass Effect 1, and even 2 they're like like evil. They banished their creators, the Quarians, from there, and you go into this space with the Geth, and you start seeing how they were made. You start seeing the Quarians working on them and all that. And then there's one part where the Quarian just goes, where the Geth, the robot, goes, Master, does this unit have a soul? And I just stopped. Because to me, a robot asking that question to its creator is like, creator, does this unit have a soul? I was like, what? Given like the circumstance of the world, Reapers attacking and they get kind of trying to save them, and at the end I managed to squeeze through the line and saved both Tali and Legion, who is a Geth. Otherwise, either Tali kills herself or Legion kills himself. And I was just like, I don't want any of you to die. And then Citadel DLC takes place, and I was just like, oh guys, I don't want this to end. Like, please, no. तो वो था. Persona 5, again, just games with companions. Persona 5 was one where both 5 and Royal mein I knew what was coming, and I was still like, God, I love these guys. I don't want this to end. These guys are family, right? So I would ended up crying. But the one game that moved me, that ऐसा लगा ना खिल गया मैं, and that is a friend of all of us, like who we know, was like campaigning me to play it. Ki you have to go and play it, and it's Near Automata, and multiple endings. I played ending 1, and then I started the second part of the game, and I was like, this is sort of frustrating, and I almost gave up. But then I continued, and then I went to ending C and ending D, and I was like, okay, I've heard this game is good, and it's good, but nothing earth shattering, nothing changed me. And then ending E comes around, and ending E mein jo roya mein, and ending E is literally the credits is when I cried. The credits mein with the music coming up, and it's an interactive credit scene where you're a small triangle who is shooting the credits. The names are like producer, you're shooting it. You're literally side number, you're shooting it, and you die, and then it restarts thoda sa, and then you die again, and it restarts thoda sa, because they are also shooting at you, and you die, and it restarts, and then suddenly it comes, hey, do you want help? And I was like, what? Like, do you need help? Do you want? I was like, theek hai. And then one comes, and then one more comes, and as this crescendo of like these other triangles come in to save you, their names come along with it, and the game, like, the music starts crescendoing, and it just gets louder, and all these names, there's a lot of things happening, and you're shooting, and messages are popping up that you can write also, like these messages, hey, don't give up, 2B and 9S are with you, or humanity will always have a future, like just messages popping up that you can write. And that whole thing happens, and right at the end, when it's over, right, I was like already crying at this point. Okay, at the end, you get an option. Would you like to save people? Like, would you like to save other people? And you choose yes, and it's like, okay, doing so will erase your save file. Everything you've done up until now in the game will be erased. Sara progress, everything gone. Are you sure? Like, yes. And it's like, okay. So you don't do it for yourself, you do it for somebody who might see your name someday. And man, I cried so much, like, I mean, cried as in ball, like I was ऐसा वाला रो रहा था मैं उस टाइम पे for whatever reason. And couple of days, like a week or two back, I went, I was just listening to Nearka music, and I went and I was like, let me just watch ending E ek baar. And it was awesome. It's been a while. And वो देखते ही, and I was working at that time, वो देखते ही ना मैं रोने लग गया वापस, because it all just comes rushing in, and it hits you. And like, if you want a sort of an existential crisis along with a feel good story, like feel good story that like positively impacts you and makes you want to strive for more, I think Nier Automata does that. And at that time I was a bit tired. I remember taking ek hafta off to play that game, like not to play that game, but I just taken Christmas break, and I was alone at home for Christmas and everything, and I played that tub, and I was just like, khatam ho raha tha. So yeah, if I could do it again, I think Nier Automata would be the one I would do. Like Nier Automata, Persona, all these games I mentioned. And one game that I haven't mentioned, that I've mentioned earlier in the show, was Katawa Shoujo. Okay, that game, again, I won't talk much about it, but the stories in that game, like you have multiple paths you can take, but any path I took, right, there was this, it has good endings, bad endings. No matter what ending I got, like I usually got the good one, but the emotions it hits you with, powerful stuff, I feel. And I really want to replay the game again just to feel that again. But yeah, these are the games that absolutely made me not just tear up. I tear up very easy. So Spider-Man may I'm tearing up at random moments, whatever is happening. God of War may I'm tearing up, but actually cry, like these games were the ones where I was like, yep. And I know the day I finish Elden Ring, जब credits roll होंगे ना, the first time I beat Elden Ring, I will cry again. Because I know I will never have a gaming experience like that. Not for any other reason, but the experience of Elden Ring will make that happen. I know it. So yeah, there's that.
That's great to you, man.
Man,
Near भी वैसा एक गेम है, another one of those three powerful titles man. Near, Witcher, Last of Us 2. चलो I'll pitch mine also. तो I तो I'm a real man, feel no
Manly
pain.
man.
तो but क्या बोलते हैं, Disco Elysium is the one that I'd say I would like to replay all over again, just because incredible writing man, like some of the stuff in that game and the way they're telling that story, like a detective who's having a tough time with alcohol and drugs, and having the will to live, but also hey, in the moment you just keep existing wala wo na usme. And there are a few moments उस game में, I'll just pick out like 2-3 quotes. These are a couple of quotes जिसके वजह से I'll say कि I want to erase this from my memory and play it again, and then it'll come to the crying wala part. So there's one of these quotes says जैसे the detective that you're playing as has lost his gun, and उसके साथ उसका एक वो है colleague है, yeah, partner है, so they're both looking for the gun. When they find it, so the partner comes and says to you, he finds the gun and he comes and hands it over to you and says, "This is your gun. Now if we could only find your personality." It's like, oh fuck man, sick burn.
Damn Kim.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. Or ऐसे, and Discolism is incredible for like the funny shit and idiotic stuff. हाँ, एक है like when you're you finally तुम्हारा कैरेक्टर से इतना पी के रखा है कि इज वेरी वीक, तो डोर वोर वगैरह खोल नहीं पा रहा ढंग से, लाइक एज एन इफ इट्स अ लॉक डोर, देन ही फाइनली फाइंड्स लाइक अ क्रोबार, लाइक अ प्राई बार. तो वो तो उस टाइम पे देन डिस्कोलिज्म इज आल्सो अबाउट योर थॉट्स रनिंग थ्रू योर हेड्स ना. तो योर थॉट्स स्टार्ट रनिंग इन योर हेड. दिस प्राई बार फील्स नाइस एंड कोल्ड इन योर हैंड, heavier than you would think, cold and heavy like truth. You feel like you're reunited with truth once more.
wow.
Yeah, उसके drunken thoughts, like oh man, I just love reading this shit.
That's good.
But then this is my favorite, and this is like one of the stuff जो मुझे लगा fuck, this like a sad stuff थोड़ा hit me in the feeling. इसमें तो towards like almost towards the end of the game you find somebody who's even in a worse off condition than you, and it's like lost all hope, वो जो बंदा है, and but lost all hope because he's been through like a horrific life as a past, with many wars and loss of family and all of it. So when you finally go to see him na, so this is the thought that runs in your head. This is a man with a lot of past but little present and almost no future. Oh, like oh fuck dude. Like oh, the way that's like oh, yeah, one of the wrap ups उस गेम के लिए ना, like oh fuck man, it just feels so good. उस गेम का writing is incredible. आंसू भी निकल गए multiple times. Yeah, and also the way they tell that story, many moments in that game are like fuck man, like this is in many ways at some point or other in your life एक feeling होगा जो Disco Elysium is able to describe very well, थोड़ा अंदर से pull करते हुए. So yeah, that's
the great Will Smith had once said that if you're feeling an emotion, there's probably someone who's written a book about it.
Yeah.
So and Disco Elysium is that book.
Is that book? Yeah. कभी time मिले तो go play it.
Yes.
Yep.
What about the other one? This is the one that you would like to erase, right?
Same. Rona भी यहीं पे.
Okay.
Rona भी यहीं पे.
Mana bhi hai,
Manas is
Rona
a
bhi.
big manly man.
सिर्फ एक ही. Yeah, this is awesome stuff. Disco Elysium में. Very hard to explain. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि if I end up making a video on it, it'll be very hard to kind of explain and go out.
The game itself is hard to explain. Like premise is very simple. You're an amnesiac detective trying to solve a murder.
Yeah.
But once you started playing it, it's like what the actual crap is happening. Like just forget story. The amount of options you get and like your thoughts talking to you and just failing to like pull down your tie from the fan and almost dying is like you don't like it. It does things.
Yeah, and I think one of the best parts is कि जो मैंने quotes दिए ना, उनमें से like the two quotes ना, the one with the pry bar, that's like a nothing happening. Just found a pry bar, like in any other game it's like nothing, but they spend so much time and make that so much interesting. When it comes to like a bigger reveal, it takes a lot of time to have any reveals या story for the story to actually move, but उसके बीच में जो हो रहा होता है, that is what you're there for. ऐसा लगता है कि like yeah, I don't want this. Like Disco Elysium ऐसा game था 92 hours में जब खत्म, like fuck, I genuinely thought like dude fuck off, like ये कैसे ऐसे कैसे was my thought, like no way, मैं कभी नहीं, एक चैप्टर और बचा हुआ है, क्या कर रहे हो. तो I mean yeah, awesome.
I remember when I'm still going through the game at the start only, but like I would find like कुछ भी interactable दिख रहा है ना, I would go and inspect and see, because it would have something interesting. Like even if it's just a dustbin, it would
Yeah.
have something interesting to say about it. Sometimes like I had the thing where my tie would talk to me. So sometimes my tie would say something random about whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
Or your and the I have to say that the voice acting in that game I thought
Oh,
might take away from the game, but it's so good ki like that deep voice of your
बहुत,
thoughts, like
हाँ.
when he says the lines, it hits so perfectly ना कि मजा आ जाता है. ओहो, फीलिंग आ
मतलब
जाती
ऐसा
है.
ऐसा समझो कि every line in that game is delivered by Christopher Judge. भाई मतलब गॉड ऑफ वॉर का इफ यू लाइक द वॉइस ऑफ क्रेटोस एंड इन जनरल ना, तो इसमें तो दिमाग फट जाएगा, क्या वॉइस एक्टिंग है.
Very
Awesome.
deep. Sort of like Ultron and Christopher Judge, yeah.
I
Lot
see.
of fun. All right, that brings us to
I
the
want to
end of
hear
the-
from people like what would they be their picks and their stories
yeah.
for games that made them cry, games that they want to forget.
Yeah.
Hey, it could be something like Pinball 3D that you want to forget and play
Yeah.
again, or it could be
Be.
something like could be a Honey Pop. I wish I could relive that game again.
I actually want to add one game as well.
I was gonna do one too.
Hey,
Cheating.
but cheating. We are doing cheating. But
Cheating.
that is a game that a lot of people have like very mixed feeling. Not Last of Us maybe, but it's Death Stranding. I liked it. Itna I thought because the trailer hooked me so much. There's a launch trailer. There's a song BB theme, I guess. That trailer had that song, and it just I don't know, just the emotion felt like the goosebumps aa raha hai. Like I want to know the story kya wala hai. I would always tell to people like this is one game I would want to play. मतलब मैं खेलना चाहता हूँ. So I got that game and it has that cinematic touch. इतना अच्छा है. And I thought like the story is going. Obviously there was like times like you're just literally walking, you're delivering, which is fine. You're at a stop in a way. But then stories slowly progress. Then build up jo achanak se, then there's a build up that happens, which is insane. Like you're questioning who is that person really is. Sub world mein exactly kya ho raha hai. This it's like I by the end I was like, oh, this is like Christopher Nolan's movie type of feeling ki it's like fuck up everything to connect karna padega. So I literally had to connect to the robot because I had a lot of confusion. But there's like one particular scene in that game जिसमें this dead man gives his final speech to Norman Reedus ka what is his
In
name?
the hallway.
In the hallway.
Yeah.
My God, that scene! I was like, dude, what? This is the best scene I've ever seen. His acting, I was like, how did he do that? That is the most intense acting I've ever seen. Like it's a story mein. Like he just breaks down, and the way he broke down, I was like, dude, he's like I even saw the behind the scenes, and behind the scenes, he's literally crying all the way he's delivering. I was like, dude, this is such a strong. And if you see that, I don't know, if you just YouTube it, you will see everybody commenting the best scene of Death Stranding, like the best acted. It should win an Oscar and all that. I was like, that's too much, but like it's such a good scene. Whenever I watched that, I was like, damn, this is gives me tears. Like I feel so bad for him. Like this happened. The man blamed himself for someone's death, and he feels like he should be like he feels like somebody forgave him, but it's like he should not be still forgiven because he did such act, and he's still like crying like those man cries, it just feels like, oh my God, so sad. But the whole game story was intense. So like if anybody wants to play Death Stranding, I think you will enjoy the story insanely. I still like the whole gameplay elements but I think story wise the game has like Hideo Kojima. It's a Hideo Kojima game, you can see that. But yeah, that's one game.
I think the best scene in that though is probably Princess Beach.
yeah
That is the best one.
That is something that's a moment, a game that I would like to forget entirely.
And not remember again.
नहीं चाहिए. नहीं, but actually maybe forget and अभी के climate में come back to it. अभी I think the sentiment has changed a lot after the director's cut. And उससे पहले भी मुझे लग रहा है Death Stranding was a game जो थोड़े time में got like much
Cult.
more positive.
Yeah. Like just like Hideo Kojima said, like this game will be better after a few years. People will like it more.
Just like
What to do.
Cyberpunk.
That's where it's
I
heading.
have one game to add, which short one. Super Giant ka Transistor.
Oh yeah.
I think that game I love a lot, and I wish I could experience the story again, because some parts of the story are ingrained in my head, and I wish I could slowly forget them. But it's there. But I love that game so much. I love the characters, I love the world, and the music from that game is amazing. And whenever I listen to the music, I think of the exact spot in the game where that music plays, because certain spots have certain music associated to it. So Transistor, if you haven't played it, amazing turn-based turn-based real-time combat. I don't know how to explain it, but awesome game. Go play it. Lovely game.
All right. That brings us to the end of the show. Guys, we all would love to hear from you, your thoughts, your comments. कि ना कौन से game में रोए? Which game do you want to forget and play again? उसके अलावा leave comments. We'll keep taking more and more comments. This topic emerged from some of the comments. So hey, give us more comments. Maybe we can give you more topics that we discuss and talk about.
Yeah.
Until then, like तो कर ही देना, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye bye.
Bye.